Welcome again, Days fans. So it's been about 3 weeks since I did one of these vlogs. I'm sorry, just got busy with work and other things, life in general. But with the short week this week, Thanksgiving tomorrow, happy Thanksgiving to my American viewers, I decided to finally do one of these vlogs. But then when I sat down to do it, I realized the past 2 weeks really have only been dominated by one story. So we'll talk about that story. A little bit about Jack and Jen. Then I want to address some of these, in December there's a couple people coming back to the show, and they're teasing how important some of these returns are going to be, which just has many people slapping their heads. So let's talk about this one story, why they even bothered to do this whole Johnny Giovanni goes missing story, and Ejami have sex. So first, John has this family gathering at the pub, and everyone's supposed to come there and support him. And while this is going on, we of course learn that John's completely innocent, that EJ set this whole thing in motion months ago. He's framed John. He's, brainwashed John again so he doesn't remember what's going on, or has just somehow confused him. And now we've got him setting all this up so it looks good that he can sue John and win the mayor of Salem. That's a lot of trouble to go through. I mean, you're a DiMera, just buy the election, stuff some ballot boxes, make it happen a lot easier than this. But okay. I guess I missed one of the days because I don't know where that miracle witness Carrie found that was supposed to save John's entire, life from this. But John got sentenced today, 50 years without parole, which is basically a life sentence. You should have just, strangled some people on the pier, or raped someone, or shot someone, or kidnapped them and brainwashed them. I mean, you wouldn't have even gone to jail, would you have, John? I guess maybe if he, had started calling himself John DiMera, he probably wouldn't go to jail either. But he didn't do that. But as EJ's revealing he set this up, we've got Sammy and all the other Bradys at the pub when some police guy, some disgruntled policeman starts firing bullets, and Johnny goes missing. And Johnny's run away from the pub. Sammy's kids really like to run away and cause trouble, and she needs to discipline them more. But whatever. He's run away from the pub. They can't find him. Then some other dead kid turns up, and they think it's Johnny. So everyone's beside themselves. Oh, Johnny's dead, Johnny's dead. EJ's feeling all this guilt. I did this. I put this all in motion. Somehow Sammy runs... Well, first of all, Sammy blames everyone under the sun. Because we've also, not only have we had Ejami sex, we've gone back to Sammy's old MO. I had really started liking Sammy in the past few years. Aside from the slip-up she had where she went and shot EJ in the head, I thought maybe that they would have her grow up, they'd have her take responsibility. She's got this new job with Mad World Cosmetics. Why can't they just have Sammy develop and grow up? No, they have to backslide her every 6 months and go back to the same old Sammy. I mean, she's like 16 again. Wham, 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 it's everyone's fault. I saw John and Marlena making love on the conference table. It ruined my life. Wham, wham, wham. So she lashes out and blames John and Marlena for Johnny disappearing. This is all their fault. Then she lashes out and blames Rafe. This is all your fault. You were the one watching those kids. You had your arms around them. It's your fault if Johnny ran away. I mean, didn't you keep your eye on them? I guess you have so many. It's hard. But everyone's fault, everyone's fault, everyone's fault. It can't be the fact that, as everyone was telling her, the only person to blame is this crazy shooter who took the law into his own hands. So she somehow ends up at the mansion with EJ, and EJ starts blaming her, which is really funny because EJ had just gotten over this whole guilt trip. This is all my fault, this is all my fault. Then suddenly, it's Sammy's fault. You're a bad mother, Sammy. All your children die, Sammy. My son is dead because of you, Sammy. Ooh, talk sweet nothings into her ear, EJ. Because then, they're kissing and doing it on that dirty couch, which everyone does it on. And, he's, choking her as he's, screwing her on the couch. And I'm like, this isn't romantic. I guess it wasn't supposed to be romantic. It was supposed to be raw, passionate, dirty sex. But really, like, you've just found out your son is dead. What do you want to do? I want to have sex. Uh, Whatever. But, of course, Will walks in and sees them. So now what? We're going to have history repeat itself, that Will's going to be scarred for life and blame everyone for his problems. I'm gay because I saw my mom having sex with EJ. Wham, wham, wham. But, they had sex, and then, of course, that's when Rafe suddenly finds Johnny is safe and alive and just hiding out in the Demerara pub. Ugh. I don't. Why did they do this? Number one, they've wrecked Sammy's character again, and they've taken her to the path of unlikable. Number two, they screwed up the EJ and Nicole fans, which they had just, started to please again. Number three, they screwed up Sammy and Rafe fans, who, there's lots of people out there. What? For Ejami fans who, it's clear they're not going to put EJ and Sammy together. They just wanted to do this to screw with everyone. So they've screwed, like, every fan base that they can involving Sammy and EJ. Why? I just don't understand. And we know she's going to get pregnant. Because, every time she sleeps with someone who she's not married to, she gets pregnant. Or she's not in a relationship with. So we're going to have another kid. Yay! I need a drink. Moving on. I guess I wanted to talk quickly about the Jen Jack storyline that's going on. Because it was on at least for a little bit. Jen keeps railing at Jack. And Jack did admittedly screw up this week when he basically let it slip that he wasn't completely asleep when he heard Jennifer telling him at the cabin how much she loved him, and he just assumed that they were getting back together. And she thought, oh, Jack, you're sneaky. You're up to your old tricks again. How could you have done this to me? At first I was like, Jack, why did you screw this up? It was going so well. But now I'm just at the point where I just want Jennifer to shut up. I mean, everything Jack does now, he can't even get 2 words out until she's like, just railing on him. This is so you, Jack. This is so you, Jack. Just like today's episode. He accepted a job at Salem U, but she wouldn't even let him talk. She just railed about, this is so you, unpredictable. I can't count on you for... I just think Jennifer likes to hear the sound of herself talk and the sound of herself say, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. Ugh. I am glad that they haven't dropped the Halloween Creeper storyline completely, because she still thinks Jack was following her around. I don't know how difficult it is to, give her a plane ticket and say, look, I was visiting our kid in England. Or maybe she could just call her kid in England. Clearly she doesn't even talk to her son anymore. Talk about irresponsible parenting. Don't blame Jack when clearly you don't even talk to your son. So, but, they still have that who is the Halloween Creeper guy that was following Jen around. At this point, I don't think Days knows. I think they just did it so they could bring someone back at some point that they wanted to. Speaking of bringing people back, December seems to have a lot of guest stars or old characters coming back on a recurring basis. First, we have Kayla coming back to help Caroline run the pub. Caroline isn't looking too good these days. She's always sitting down and, not doing much. So I guess they're bringing Kayla in to sort of take over the pub from Caroline or start preparing that. No word that Steve's coming back. He's on another soap now at the moment, so I'm not sure how they're going to, again, explain where Steve is. We've got Billy coming back. The original Lisa Rinna coming back with her big lips. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're even bringing Billy back. I guess that means they're going to break Bo and Hope up again. But I guess, she has to visit with Austin. Oh, and speaking of Austin, why do they have him flirting with every woman in Salem? He was, walking around naked in Sammy's apartment looking at her. Now he's having all this cutesy talk with Abigail. Ew, yuck. Go pay attention to your wife, Austin. But Billy's coming back, I guess, just to reconnect with the original Austin, because it's the original Billy, and again, to break Bo and Hope up somehow. And then, finally, we've got this news coming out that, dun 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 dun, Susan Banks is coming back. Not Eileen Davidson. They've cast some other woman who I don't even know who she is, to play Susan for a couple roles, and she's coming into town to give big news about EJ, and the whole Alice Horton mystery and how everyone's connected. I just have this horrible feeling that we're going to have another Baby Switch storyline. That somehow Daniel is Maggie's kid, but a Demera. And EJ is somehow also Maggie's kid, but is, a Horton. So, I just, or maybe a Kyriakis. We still don't know. Maggie knows Daniel's her son, but we still don't know who Daniel's daddy is at this point. But I have a feeling both are brothers, and one's going to be a Demera, and EJ is going to somehow magically be a Horton, or I guess maybe a Kyriakis. Boy. I mean, I just don't even know what to say. Baby switches and Sammy's back blaming everyone under the sun. It's like 20 years have just been rewound and we're back at the same old days of our lives. Till next time, happy Thanksgiving.